Murphy and John Hacker.
Thanks, Joe. They're on the line, and we'll give you the start list shortly. They'll wait until there is at least some chance of an even start. Two Northcliffe teams, the Northcliffe A team have taken this out the last 2 years. Service Paradise, our own Trevor Hendy will be involved in this, along with Shannon Eckstein, Maroochydore, Redhead, Tugun, and across the other side, Mooloolaba, Collaroy, North Burleigh, Swansea, Belmont, Southport, and Cottesloe. Maroubra and Queenscliff rounding out the field. And look, the Ironmen, they're fantastic. There's no question about that, and full respect to them. But this is the highlight of any surf carnival for any club. And I'm sure that the Ironman sitting next to me, Brad Stokes, would agree with that. This is the event you want to win.
Absolutely, John. This is the pinnacle of surf ice saving. This shows the depth of each club that's out there, the best 14 clubs out there, and you know, it's going to be a great spectacle to watch. And
just to run through what they'll be doing, there's 2 ski paddlers, 2 board paddlers, and 2 swimmers to round it off. It's the Taplin relay. It's the true test of the depth of any surf club. And Northcliffe, what a star-studded field they've got. The likes of Bagley, Crilly, Dowker, Richmond, Williams, and Witherspoon in the Northcliffe A side. They'll be wearing their traditional maroon colours, and the Northcliffe B side will be wearing, I think, black. We'll just try and pick that up for you. Yes, they are. Just looking at it here on the left of screen, Northcliffe B rather, in the black, and that red and white ski belongs to Crilly for the Northcliffe A side, and then through to Service Paradise and so on. And they're just waiting to get an even start. The flag is in the air. It's now up to the starter. The red flag at one end on the right-hand side. The starter's going to let him go. And up on these skis they'll go on. They'll just tear out. And we'll get down to the beach now with Pete Calhoun to see how he's viewing this start before we pick up with Francis. Pete.
Well, the wind has not abated one little bit. The guys are still heading towards that southern end. They'll do a big zig, then a zag back onto the turning cans. Interesting to note, this event has been won 21 times by a Queensland club and only 7 times from a New South Wales club. They're the only 2 states ever to win it. So it'll be interesting to see if it could be an upset from another state, perhaps.
Well, a bit of bad news so far for Service Paradise. Stephen King got hit by an early wave and has dropped well back. Leading at the moment on that red and white ski would be Crilly, and they're in a slightly better alley, Francis.
Yeah, they are. They're further down up on the northern end of the beach, which is proving to be a fairly good alley on the way out to the cans at the moment. And we've got Meredith over from Mooloolaba. Looks like he's paddling in the lead of the second pack.
Yes, he's in that second pack. Oh, one of them's just lost it. Now, we've got Northcliffe A with Crilly tearing away. I'll try and pick up the team that lost it. I think it may well have been Redhead. It was Redhead A has lost it. That was Peter Scott, former Olympian, terrific paddler, and he was the one knocked off that ski. Probably sitting in 3rd position at the moment is Northcliffe B. So Northcliffe A and B are 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, this is the cream of the paddlers from the top clubs around Australia. And not only is this just a prestigious event to get into, you've got to think they've also got to have not only the skill, but they've got to have a lot of luck to make it through so many rounds just to make it into this final. It certainly is prestigious.
So there's Crilly for Northcliffe leading them out on that red and white ski. He's heading towards our own top-class ski paddler, Jimmy Walker. Jimmy.
Say the Peter Scott from Redhead come off. What happened, he was next to Nick Crilly. He got so much air and the wind just threw him off. That's how strong the wind is out here. The swell is so steep and so big. Watch when they turn this 3rd can. Nick Crilly in front over Stephen Meredith. How quick they come behind.
So not only will it blow a dog off a chain, it'll blow a paddler off a ski. The breeze out here, it really is gusting, probably upwards of about 25 knots. As you can see, Jimmy Walker's ski trying to cut through this pack, and he's right on the back of this leading group at the moment. But it's Northcliffe A from Mooloolaba A and North Burleigh at this stage, and that is Crilly, followed by Stephen Mega Meredith, and he'd be fired up today because he missed out on the Ironman finals.
Yeah, Northcliffe A going for their 3rd consecutive win in the Taplin relay. And that was a great shot we had before from Jimmy Walker's ski, just giving a real perspective of how steep the waves are.
Meredith now joining Crilly. Side by side, they come down this little swell. We'll watch them work this, Brad.
Yeah, Steve Meredith and Nick Crilly coming in. Great work. They're just on top of that wave. They're just going to sit back, have a bit of a rest, and then they're going to start building it back up and make sure they get back to the beach right in line with that turning flag.
Stephen Meredith, a former Australian ski champion. You definitely want him leading off your Taplin relay team.
Yes, and he's going to get the best of this too, Mega Meredith. There's a little question about that in the Mooloolaba colours, the maroon and white. In he comes. Disappointment today, both for him, for Jeremy Cotter, for Trevor Hendy, for Darren Mercer. Some big names missing out on the Ironman that we'll see tomorrow. But gee, there's some very big names going through. But here he is, and he'll tag his next paddler. That's Surfers Paradise, King. He struggled early on, but look at him get up and run. This transition's very important. Pete's down there watching it.
Want to get in Mega Meredith's way. I tell you, he had that look of killer in his eye again, and his teammates are urging him on. The pack is now spread out over the best part of 100 metres, so that initial ski leg could make all the difference, but the conditions the way they are, these teams won't give up till the end.
And it looks like he's tagging Simon Martin, who we saw paddle very strongly in the opening leg of the Ironman semis.
Yes, he did, as Simon Martin leads them out from Mooloolaba, from Northcliffe rather, and then North Burleigh. We're going to take a break, come back with the rest of the Lifesaver Relay. Bagley in this Taplin relay gets up with Northcliffe now out in front, and you'll see in a moment just how that occurred. There was plenty of mayhem on the way back in as Bagley now absolutely sprints through this transition. He'll give it to himself. The board paddlers are next, and he'll tag the first of the Northcliffe board paddlers. They've won it the last 2 years in a row. Can they make it 3? They're on their way at this stage, Northcliffe. Now, Mooloolaba was in second position. I think you might find that Surfers Paradise will be now, and they'll probably be tagging either to Trevor Hendy or Corey Hutchings. But this is what happened. This was Simon Martin. He was in front for Mooloolaba. Away he went, and down he went. Now he tries to hang on to this as long as he possibly can, goes over the side, he's hanging onto the ski, takes great strength, and the strength just leaves him at the last moment, and then he had to swim in. As a result, they're now in third or fourth position.
But back to the race, and Northcliffe A leading with Ty Darker out there on the board, developing a really great lead from the next club.
So it's Northcliffe from Surfers Paradise, and then Southport. Mooloolaba, we think, are probably fifth because Tugun is in fourth position. So Mooloolaba at best fifth, and just one little mistake, and it could be all over Red Rover for the Mooloolaba side. That does include, we should point out too, the two brothers, Dean and Darren Mercer.
Yeah, Brad, it just goes to show, doesn't it, that you can have a great lead in a team event like this, but anything can happen in the next leg.
Certainly can. Anything does happen in surf, I say. That's the great thing about it. We're looking at Nathan Meyer from Surfers Paradise going out there. Great skills from Nathan going over that whitewash.
Let's go down to the beach with Pete and Steve Mega Meredith.
Well, he had a magnificent opening ski leg. He handed on to Simon Martin. He got dusted.
Yeah, it hasn't gone too well for Slim. It's pretty tricky out there, but as you know, at these things, anything can happen and usually does, so.
Mate, you had that look of killer, but you never give up in one of these events, do you?
No, mate. I mean, we're on into the third leg now with 3 to go, so, you know, this is a long way to go yet.
Still haven't given up, boys.
Well, they shouldn't, because all it'll take is another couple of competitors to get smashed by a few of these waves, and who knows what could happen. But at the moment, it's Northcliffe, the defending champs, out in front and doing it pretty well. This is Dowker, I think, isn't it?
Yep, that's Ty Darker from our Northcliffe out in front. You know, paddling really strongly there, out in the green water where he wants to be. Got out through that break nice and cleanly, so that makes it much easier for Ty.
The gold medalist today with your brother-in-law. How does it feel, mate?
Fantastic, you know, to finish off, I guess, my career in these Australian Championships, to win a gold with my brother-in-law. It's certainly a good way to go out.
We can see Jimmy Walker just sitting back as the leading competitors go past him now, Jim. We've got Northcliffe from Tugun and then Surfers Paradise.
Yeah, it is, and then there's a pretty big gap back to fourth spot. I think it might be another Surfers Paradise or Swansea Bellman. The glare's a bit hard, I can't really tell. But Nathan Meyer now for Surfers and Tugun, you'd have to say that these three are on the safer craft at the moment. The board, the ski out of the way. You would nearly say that this could be a 1, 2 and 3, but you know, this is surf, and it is Swansea Belmont in 4 and Redhead in 5.
Okay, so it's Northcliffe, Tugun, Surfers Paradise, Swansea Belmont, and then the team from Redhead. But there's the battle for second and third as it sits at the moment. Tugun in second, and remember they've got the likes of the Hearsts to come. Surfers Paradise is also there.
We're looking at what's going to be a fantastic battle for that gold medal. As you said, the Hearst brothers will be swimming for Tugun, and for Northcliffe we'll have one of the best surf swimmers also, Mark Williams and Luke Richmond.
There's Mark Williams, of course, one of only 3 people to win a cadet, junior and senior surf title at national title level. The others were a great Darren Bogg and Craig Riddings, and he's got a marvellous record, and he's in with a chance again tomorrow. We'll see him in that Open Surf Race final. As now Dowker trying to work these little runs, trying to get himself a bit of a lift home. He's looking over his shoulder because he knows that there's waves to come, and he'll get those back straps and just hold to the beach.
Yeah, you can see Ty's been a little bit unlucky there. He's had to wait for a wave to come up to him, but he's just sitting back now, just lying down.
But here's second and third on the same wave. We've got Tugan and Surfers Paradise. We're looking at the Tugan competitor at the moment on that cracker board, but just to his right, just out of shot at the moment, there he is. The jet skis between the two of them is the Surfers Paradise competitor. So they're currently in second and third.
And of course they'll be handing on to another board paddler. Next into the transition now goes Northcliffe A, and he'll be passing on to Wotherspoon.
Yep, that's right, Paul Wotherspoon. Great board paddler. Last year he finished third at the Australian Championships in the board race. Passing on to him, and hopefully Northcliffe can come through for their third consecutive victory.
Well, there's a tag. The lead's not that big, though, given the state of these conditions. Who knows what could happen? The second competitor's already gone through and tagged. We're waiting for the third now, which I think will be Surfers Paradise. Currently in second position is Tugan. There's Surfers Paradise just in front.
And that looks like Trevor Hendy going out for Surfers Paradise now with the number 4 on his back.
And Maroochydore is now past Swansea Belmont too. So our leaders are Northcliffe from Tugan, Surfers Paradise and Maroochydore.
Yeah, that Maroochydore paddle was actually their first board paddler. The ski paddle actually got a little bit held up there, so that's Maroochidore's first board paddle going out.
Yeah, sorry, my apologies. I saw them coming around the Light Eye Sausage and thought that they were in there, but they've been lapped. We've got Ian Thorpe and Grant Hackett out in front, and they've just lapped a couple of those other competitors in lanes 1 and 8.
I bet some of these teams would like to have Ian Thorpe and Grant Hackett coming up in the swim leg.
Well, I think it's a shame that we don't any longer. There was a time when all the Olympians did swim. It is a shame, and they're currently competing themselves. But a couple of these competitors, Brad, as we look out to sea now with Northcliffe still in front, again, some of them choosing to take a much more direct route. Where would you be going out now if you were coaching these teams?
Well, obviously the teams that are out in front don't have to make any mistakes. They don't need to take any uncertain risks, so they'll be heading south to take advantage of the current and the sweep to our left. But obviously if you're behind a little bit, take a punt straight out, see if it works for you.
What about that Queensland competitor that just hit the water and took off with one of the highest stroke ratings you've ever seen? If he keeps that up, he'll be mighty exhausted when he gets back. But there's the difference between some of these back markers and the Northcliffe crew. There's second and third just in shot, going to them now. Tugan and Surfers Paradise. Yeah,
that's the great Trevor Hendy going out in third spot there. Trevor's been a great team man all of these years, and you know, no doubt what he's done in Ironman racing, but hopefully he can bring home the Surfers Paradise team into a medal. Yeah,
and a fabulous board paddler, of course, current national board champion, and he's smart enough just to be hanging on the back of that Tugan competitor, get a bit of a lift, have a little bit of a rest in that wake on the way out.
And Brad, you've been out there for most of the day. Can you see how the conditions have changed much as it's come into high tide?
Yeah, in high tide, obviously the inside fills up a little bit. It makes it a little bit easier to get out because the bank's not so exposed. It's not crashing down as heavy on the back bank. But you know, these guys are still doing it tough out there, and you know, they'll be happy once the race is over.
So Fuller in front of Hendy. This is the battle for second and third, but they are closing the gap on Northcliffe. Jimmy, you're out there with them. That gap's closing dramatically.
Yes, it's closing a lot, and I tell you, Trevor was going out just behind Tugan there, and he was in that traditional position on the way out of sitting on the wash and waiting to pounce as he turns the can. Watch him come home on the swell now. I won't be surprised if you see him go second or third. And I've just seen Darren Mercer. He's in 6th, and Maroochydore in 7th. Southport in 8, and Marooma in 9, and it's still a battle in there. Don't worry with the surf like this. There could be some upsets for second or third, but I see Trevor's just about to pull onto the wave equal first.
Yes, he's just about to pull down this wave. He's working it handy. He's going to come up alongside that Northcliffe competitor. He drops off the back now. He got the most out of it he could, but there's another wave forming for him. We've also got Tugan. They'll pick up that wave. Northcliffe will have to wait for it. So the three of them together. Hendy. And we've also got from Tugan, Sam Hamilton it is from Tugan, in fact. So we've got Tugan, Northcliffe and Surface Paradise. Trevor Hendy there on the top of your screen, just angling across to give himself the best run back up the beach.
And remember too that Trevor Hendy has 25 gold medals at the Australian Championships. If he wins at 26th, he will equal the record held by Clint Robinson.
And then Clint will probably try and go one better tomorrow in that open ski race.
Yeah, what a fantastic paddle by Hamilton and there from Tugan. He's only an under-19 competitor. He's going to pass it on to the Hurst brothers, and we all know how they can swim, so Tugan looking pretty strong there as well.
So we've got Hamilton up running for Tugan. Wotherspoon is running for Northcliffe, and Hendy for Surface Paradise, getting those 33-year-old legs going. Hendy around in third, but young Hamilton, look at him go. He's going to put his side out in front for Tugan. Remember, they've got Kai Hurst swimming for them. He's one of the two swimmers. So Surface Paradise and Northcliffe, they'll be chasing.
And there goes Phil Clayton for Surface Paradise. A very big ask ahead of him to take on the Hurst brothers. I think that might be Dane Hurst swimming out there first. The Tugan team winning silver in this event last year.
Yes, the Hurst brothers for Tugan, but we've also got Mark Wally Williams for Northcliffe. Who'll win? We'll find out shortly. Taplin Relay have just rounded the cans. That's Northcliffe. That's Mark Wally Williams in the first spot for Northcliffe. There he is, just pulling down that wave. Just behind him in second spot is Dane Hurst, and then in third spot is Phil Clayton. Dane Hurst, of course, for Tugan, Phil Clayton for Surface Paradise. And this could be a real preview for what we're about to see tomorrow, because for Northcliffe, we're going to have Mark Wally Williams handing over to Luke Richmond, who's in the Ironman final. Phil Clayton for Surface Paradise will be handing over to Shannon Eckstein, one of the Ironman favourites, and Dane Hurst will be handing over to Kai Hurst, the three-time Australian Ironman champion. So what will happen in this last swim league? How will that unfold? It'll be a real preview for tomorrow's Ironman final, but right now we've got a Taplin relay goal up for grabs.
Yeah, Williams leading out there. He has established a fantastic lead. A bit of a rough-looking strike, but powerful through the water. Former world champion, and this is when he's at his best, when he's competing for a team, wouldn't you say, Brad?
Absolutely. Wally's a fantastic team competitor. He always gives it 100%.
He's missed this wave broken, though. The important thing is he didn't have that little look under the shoulder. He's missed that wave broken, and a couple of other waves are forming. Now, has Phil Clayton been able to pull that wave broken? I think Phil Clayton is on this wave. Now, whether he held it or not, certainly Mark Williams has missed it. There's a mess of white water out there. I'll be perfectly frank with you, we can't see. I don't know. Did Clayton hold it? I don't think he did. There's Clayton at the top, and there's Williams. So Clayton is trying to pick up a little broken wave. Williams is going to try and do the same, or it could even be Dane Hurst. But there's very, very glary. It's either Dane Hurst or Phil Clayton coming through on that wave.
I think they're both on it, and it is just to point out, it is one of the toughest things to do, is to pick up one of those broken waves. Especially at the end of the race, you're tired, your stroke rate has dropped a bit. You've got to really put in a big effort to pick one up. There's Phil Clayton now going for it.
Yeah,
he's on it.
The smaller a broken wave gets, the easier it gets, because it's not as fast, and it's just a pure notion of trying to get your body speed up to the speed of the water that's going past you to try and pick up those broken waves. But Dane Hurst has now gone straight past them, and he's in first position for mine. I think Dane Hurst has put his side in front, because just off camera, Dane Hurst has picked up a wave, and he is certainly in front. That's Mark Williams, but he's in second spot at the moment. So Mark Williams in second, Phil Clayton in third. But Tugan, Dane Hurst will be handing over to his brother Kai. There he is, he's up and running. Mark Williams is back in the pack. Great surfing. He was lost in all that white water. He's got about a 100-metre sprint to get back to this sausage. Mark Wally Williams, there he is. That camera angle won't give you the true extent of this lead. It's about a 30-metre lead. Williams is putting in the big ones, getting those legs going. But Dane Hurst is going to hand over to the Australian surf racing champion and the three-time national Ironman champion, his brother Kai. And King Kai will be hard to stop from there. He carves them up in these sorts of conditions. Along comes now Northcliffe. So it's Tugan, and then you've got Wally Williams handing over to his Northcliffe teammate, and that Northcliffe teammate is Luke Richmond, another great swimmer who'll also feature in the Ironman final tomorrow. And then finally Surface Paradise. Shannon Eckstein will take the water for them. You're down on the beach. Big Pete, what do you think?
Teammate here, Trevor Hendy too, mate. What chance do you give Shannon?
Oh, he's definitely a chance in these conditions. If I'd had a bad run coming in then, but other than that, it would have been perfect. We're really set up. But hey, it's perfect conditions to actually do a bit of catching up.
Well, Surfers Paradise, the boys certainly haven't given up hope, and why wouldn't they? Got Shannon Eckstein after the leaders.
Yes, but the leader is Kai Hurst. I'll walk from here to Mooloolaba in bare feet if Kai Hurst gets caught by that Surfers Paradise competitor, even if it is Shannon Eckstein.
Yeah, Kai Hurst, not only is he the current Australian surf champion, perhaps the strongest surf swimmer we've seen, perhaps the strongest here at these championships, but with the added pressure of competing for his club, and Chugan, remember, finished second in this event last year. It is the most prestigious team event at the Australian Championships.
You can see Mooloolaba coming through there, tagging off to their last swimmer, Dean Mercer.
And don't forget where they were too. Mooloolaba were leading this race into the second ski paddle, and were leading it back home in the second ski paddle. Of course, as we replayed a little bit earlier, there was a lost ski, and just one of those things that can happen in surf.
It sure does. It's that's part of surf life saving. You take the good with the bad, and unfortunately Simon Martin had a bit of a spill there, but you know, Kai Hurst, it's going to be unstoppable from here, I think.
That was Southport coming around, by the way, just rounding out some of those back markers. But Kai Hurst, you've never seen anyone take a surf race apart the way Kai Hurst took apart the National Championship last year. Loves these big conditions, and he really will put in the big ones. Of course, anything can happen. A lucky wave from behind, who knows? But certainly Kai Hurst won't get out swam here. But surf, well, the lot of luck will play its part. Jimmy Walker, they're heading towards you now.
Yeah, and I can't see too much yet, John. I'm probably about another minute and a half away, I think.
Kai Hurst, so confident, so strong in the water that he took more of a direct route out to the Cairns rather than going further south. Shannon Eckstein did take a further south route out to the Cairns.
Yeah, I wonder whether he's going to find himself too far north of the Cairns, though, as a result of that. He may have made a very bad mistake here. You're quite right in what you say there, Francis, but I think he's going to find himself north of the Cairns and having to swim back against this sweep. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, certainly. It's certainly not something you want to do, is be too far north of those Cairns, trying to swim back against the current, against the sweep, hitting those chops. Shannon could be in a fantastic position just back there, nipping on his heels.
And Dane Hurst is down on the beach with Pete.
Yeah, he's looking at his brother. He's handed him a lead, and I suppose, Dane, you wouldn't want your brother to blow it from here?
Oh, no. Definitely not. The whole team's backing him, though. In these surf conditions, you expect everything, and well, anything can happen out there, obviously. But even, you know, if he loses or not, it's the surf conditions, not him. He's a great competitor, and all these guys are, but it's tough conditions, that's what I have to say.
Well, a very puffed Dane Hurst, and a lot of respect there for his older brother. Geez, they've got a big weekend ahead of them too, John.
Yeah, when he was just a kid, he represented Australia in open water at the World Championships in '98. We called him right here on Channel 7, and you knew there were big things ahead of him. And he's certainly relishing this, but he has given Luke Richmond a bit of a sniff. Luke Richmond from Northcliffe is probably, I've just got a frog in my throat, Northbridge is probably going to be about, well, 2 Cairns lengths away, I suppose.
Yeah, you could see Luke took a more direct line straight to that red and yellow can on the end there. He'll turn that can. There he goes, heading around the back now. He's straight after Kai. It's going to be a great finish.
Yeah, probably 3 cans. You're out there, Jimmy. What do you think?
Yeah, Kai Hurst, you said he might have went a little off course, but they followed like sheep, Luke Richmond and Shannon Eckstein. They all went the same way. So I think Kai, he's one of the leading 1,500-metre swimmers in the country. He's turning the can now. It'll be a run home. I think he's going to get it today. He's got 5 other Chugan blokes. They'll be cheering him on in what is the greatest club event.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, one of the best body surfers as well, Kai Hurst. Very skilled in the surf. He'll be looking over his shoulder to pick up the first swell as it comes along.
This is a big effort from Luke Richmond, though. There's no question that he has narrowed this gap for Northcliffe, and they're the defending champs. There's a lot of pride on the line. They've won it 2 years running, and he might just put himself in a position where if Kai Hurst gets himself into a bit of a lull, swims in between a set, and the right wave pops up, you know, he's done everything right to give himself a chance anyway, and to give his Northcliffe club a chance. Luke Richmond, there he is on top of that wave. Now, Kai Hurst is going to look over his shoulder here. This one he won't be able to get, and I'm just looking out to see whether anything else is forming for him at this stage. Probably not. Well, he may get this one, will he? He's going to think about it. Down he'll go. Will he hold it? Yes, he will.
I think what will be important here is where Kai ends up on the beach and whether Richmond can pick up a wave behind him, because if Kai ends up well down to the north of the beach, he may not be as quick a runner up the beach as Richmond, but it looks like he's holding onto that wave, surfing it extending his lead.
Yeah, absolutely brilliantly. He's home. They're home, the Tugan team. And Kai Hurst picking up his first gold medal for these championships, and you'd be a brave person to suggest it'll be his last. He's going to look around now and try and work a little bit of white water, and he'll get that one arm down and plane. Big 6-feet kick. He's pulled that brilliantly. That's a great bit of surfing. Had the one arm out, playing with that massive 6-feet kick, a la Thorpe, and away he goes. And he'll hold this almost to the beach, Kai Hurst. In fact, he may even hold it to the beach.
Yeah, that's great technique there. That's just great for young kids to be watching, learning how to do the body surfing. Kai is one of the best exponents of that, and congratulations, Tugan, going to come through and claim a great victory.
And second gold medal for his brother Dane today. We didn't see it on screen today. It was a junior event, but he has picked up a gold medal in the under-19 surf team. So a big win to Tugan. This is the blue ribbon event of these championships. I know we concentrate on Ironman and Ironwoman, but I can tell you, if you asked a club what they would most want to win, it's this event that you're seeing right now. And Tugan, the Hurst brothers, they've led them home. But what about the work that was done earlier by the likes of Fuller, Hamilton, Hipwood? They've all been there. Marvellous effort for the Tugan crew, and they're going to be led home by the man they call King Kai. He does the aeroplane.
A big confidence boost for Kai, who's going for his 4th Ironman title. That'll be tomorrow. But a great win today for him and his team, Tugan.
We'll look back out to see who's sitting in second. It will be Northcliffe. And Luke Richmond swam very well. Got himself in position. If the wave had materialised, he probably closed the gap by a few metres. He was probably only 10 or 12 metres away at one stage. And so Northcliffe, they've been the champs the last 2 years. They're second in the Taplin relay here today behind Tugan. So they take the silver medal, and we'll look back out to sea just to try and work out where our third place getter is. And last time we glanced, it was certainly going to be Surfers Paradise, but I don't know whether there's been a change as we concentrated on this leading pair. And of course, Shannon Eckstein was the man in the water for Surfers Paradise, and at the moment we're just trying to pick him up. He may be just popping in on a little wave now. I've got Brad Stokes. Where can you see him, Brad?
Yeah, I can see Shannon down there. He's just coming to the beach at the moment, so Surfers Paradise will claim 3rd position.
Yeah, body surfing nicely in now, Shannon Eckstein, bringing Surfers Paradise in for 3rd.
So unofficially, it's the team from Tugan, led by the Hurst brothers. Northcliffe was 2nd, and Surfers Paradise a 3rd.